Hey everyone, Corrie here, coming in to do the energy update for this full moon that is coming up on May the 12th. And of course this is a weekend, so this is Saturday, so I think I'm going to include some of the energy that's also just happening out and around us, and the macro into the micro. So I have not done a monthly for the YouTube channel, and because I was in the middle of moving, so we are now in my new location, in my new home, and so this is the beginning of setting up, and you'll see a lot more as I record throughout or when I set up my office. But for now, I'm on my rooftop patio deck. That's patio, whatever you want to call it, at the back of my house. And I was sitting here, and I just knew that it was time to come in and record. So I want to give the energy update for this, and I have a real somber energies coming with it. A really kind of we are moving in. This full moon is in Scorpio, and we are moving into that where, really prepping and preparing for the Saturn and Aries energy that's going to be influencing us in a very different way as that begins to really move forward with us. So, but where we are with this moon and where this moon is really taking us through is it's almost like a portal energy. And it is the moon that really truly begins that descend deeper within, and just asking ourselves some of the deeper questions. It is about honesty. It is about the things that hurt. What's the word? That hurt, that you can no longer just let it be a hurt. It needs to be healed. So the hurt that needs to be healed, and it's time to really work on healing those hurts. And those hurts often come with having to be honest, and having to become honest with yourself and honest with the people in our lives where we need to. As we move through this energy, I feel like this energy is like tethering and tying onto us, and like a hot air balloon is going to take us through all the way into this Saturn and Aries energy, and it's just pulling us in whether we want to go or not. Like, we have no choice. So it influences everyone differently, and everyone's going to be affected differently, just like this moon. Everyone will be affected differently, and some people may not even notice. But it is a water moon, and it has a bit of harshness to it, a bit of coldness to it, and it just feels as if it's just like, you just got to get shit done. It's where responsibility comes in and just says, we're responsible for this. My hands are so dirty. I'm like moving. But it's where we look at life and just have to take that full responsibility, and just telling ourselves, okay, I am here, or I'm in this because of my determination to get what I want, or my unwillingness to ask for help, or my sense of being super independent, which is, not really always a good thing. And so I'm here because I keep allowing this. I'm here because. And so if I could give you the theme, that's what the theme seems to be. That's what is coming up. I'm here because. And so on a macro scale, and where it's influencing or where it's coming from, it does feel as if we have the planets of maturity, accountability, responsibility, that's all playing in here, and just realigning us to what brings us the most value within our lives. And sometimes we have to clean and clear a house in order for beautiful things to flow through. But the Scorpio and the Scorpio energy is about truth. It is about honesty. It's about not lying to ourselves. It's about not being able to tell lies to others. It's about using the power of this time to have those conversations that may need to be had. So there is a there is energy within this that says, that influences us in a way that just says, this may not go as you hope it goes. It may not work out as you are hoping for, because we exist in the fates of other people. We're not just in our own fates. And so when we have to do the deep dive, the descend within, and when we have to find those parts of ourselves or awaken that parts of ourselves within, acknowledge it, heal areas of our lives, is that we evolve and we grow. And as we evolve and we grow, the people that's always been in our lives may not be growing and evolving at the same time. And it doesn't mean they're broken or behind. It doesn't mean that you have to run. It just means that you have to really recognize that it is your responsibility and not the responsibility of someone else to make you happy. It's not the responsibility of someone else to sacrifice them because you've decided that you need them to be a certain way. So every time that you are demanding that someone else do the work so that you're comfortable with them, is that there's still a lot of judgment. And so you really looking at self means that you can look at the areas of where you're very judgmental to, having people go create your comfort, create your happiness, give what you want in situations. And we don't seem to notice it until we see the tipping of the scale of where one may be getting ahead, one may be healing parts of their lives, and the other one may not be doing that. But it's not required of them. It's required of you. And so when you get that call that within that just says, I have to start doing this, if they haven't got the call, then they're not ready. And so pushing other people to do what you want them to do because you want a buddy, you want somebody to be by your side, whatever that may be, is not a healthy way to coexist in a relationship, whether it's parents, mother, daughter, father, son, daughter's father, however you want to put that, or it's romantic. It could be friends, it could be family, but it's that sense of we all have to have those, those come to Jesus moments ourselves of where we come to life and we come to our ahas and we come to the realization, we come to that knowing that it's time to do the hard things, or that it's time to take care of aspects of our lives where it's like, but it's you doing it for you. Have to remember what you're doing. What we do in life that we do for ourselves is that, others can see it, but shaming people and guilting people into doing something is never the way to create and cultivate healthier. So an example that I can give you is from like my More Than Existing book. I was 10 years old when my mother took me to Slim Down. And I went to Slim Down with my mother at 10 years old. And we had to sit around in a circle, and it's like, I'm just think about it as I got these chairs in circles around my house. And so she took me to Slim Down, and we all had to spell out Slim Down. And many of you who's been around for a while have probably heard this story. But she took me to Slim Down, and we'd have to do SLIMDOWN, and then you have to stand up, hurrah. And it was like this commitment. Now I was 10, 11, like 10. No, I was definitely 10. And she was my grown mother. And I always believed that she took me to Slim Down because I needed to lose weight. And yes, there is truth to that too, that she thought that she was doing me a favor because she needed it or she wanted it. She didn't need it. But because she wanted it and she wanted to go and she wanted to lose a few pounds, she thought it would be a great idea if I went with her to lose 10 pounds. And it's like, oh, if we just lose 10 pounds together. But what she was creating was she was awakening something within me that was going to become a pattern that I was going to follow for the rest of my life. So she awakened that part of myself that went into eating disorders. And so it created a disorder. Now, did she create the disorder? No. Who created the disorder? I created the disorder. I created it within myself. Was she responsible for taking me there? Yes. Was she responsible for her words? Yes. But who did that? I did that. And then when I became a grown adult, and the more that I would slip into the eating disorders, that would be on me, not because of what was said to me all those years ago. Would that be an influence? Yes. But it wasn't with her, it's with me. And so it all begins with us and how we truly become the observer of that. And so when the book was out and myself and my mother sat down and talked about it, she says to me, well, I didn't take you to Slim Down for you to lose weight. I was just shy and I didn't want to go alone, so I thought I would just take you, and I thought you would enjoy it. So I didn't want to be alone. I wanted to take you. So how many things in my life did she drag me through because she didn't want to be alone, so I would go with her. And so it was always me being put into, her habits, her patterns, her isms, her addictive patterns became partly my addictive patterns, but hers were hers and mine were mine because they all came from a different place and through different circumstances and different situations. But the cycle continues when we refuse to break away from the circle and make the change to go another direction, to really truly stop those thoughts, because the only person thinking it was then me. And so the more that I thought about it and the more that that was what I believed, the more that I was influenced and affected by that story. Because over and over, every time I look at the fridge or every time I go somewhere, it was, or put on clothes or buy clothes, it was, you're too fat for that. So I was too fat for a size 0, but I wasn't too fat for maybe a size 8, 10, could be 12. But I wasn't too fat for those, but I couldn't fit a 0. And so, but a 0 wasn't my size. And I wasn't too big for the size that was designed to fit my body. And when you can observe that, when you can become an observer and be able to tell that version of yourself the truth of a situation, is you change the narrative, you change the story around. And so the more that I changed that story around, and it went to, well, that time was with this woman, and this woman is not just my mom, she's a woman. And so that woman had no idea of the effect that it would have on me, because she couldn't even see herself. She was always still trying to improve something that was just not good enough. And who she was not good enough for became the reflection in her own mirror, but that wasn't what she felt as the original source. So we have a lot of feelings and a lot of emotions that don't really tell a truth, they just tell a story. And when they just tell a story and the story becomes our truth, it's hard to see another version or another story. So it was during the process of self-actualization and more than existing and writing the book that I realized that to write from love, or to write a book from love, was for me have to really take that accountability and responsibility for what was mine. And it was in changing the perspectives, the view, how I seen things that could free me. It wasn't about how you're going to free everyone else or free someone else. It was how you're going to free yourself. And so freeing myself of the story allowed me to see it all the way to the end. And when I could see it all the way to the end, I could see the end of the story is that there was a pivotal point of where I switched gears and made those changes. And so this is kind of exactly what this energy is. This is where this energy is. It's exactly what this energy is like. Exactly like that story. It's telling us something, or it's bringing up something for us that is for us to really take accountability for and say, yep, that was the story, but it doesn't mean it's the truth. And so it is seeking truth. This moon is seeking truth. It's drawing it up. It's drawing it out. Those hard conversations, that situation that you had yourself in that really needed some time to really be resolved, then you may start to see this resolved. You may start to notice that it can be resolved. But I have to be present. I have to be present with this, and I have to not bring up. I just keep getting, don't bring up the past, like not bringing in or bringing up past energy, but being in the present and allowing the present in the energy, the present that's here in this energy as we're moving through this weekend and through the new moon, allowing it to bring up the version of you that had to take a deep dive. And while it's approaching, while it's arriving, while it's here, is that this is when this story has opened, and this story opens up to tell a new story, to tell something more. And so there is there's a disruption as well. And I feel this disruption is kind of pushing pushing, and it just feels like a pullback. So you may be feeling as if you're to be pushed into something, or there's something very pushy that's out there in the energy, and it's like, just push back, just push back, just push back, because it's the unexpected. And so they're telling me that there's somebody who just needs to push back. And the pushback is not to get, if it's something that feels like somebody was physically, mentally not nice to you, you know, abusive in somehow. It's not about you becoming that abusiveness within yourself or becoming tough. It's about you finding your way back to the softness, and where that softness is, and what that softness looks like, and how that softness affects you, and what it feels like to be in that energy. And so we have a lot of personal energy. And yeah, it's like, often we'll say, oh, don't take it personally. Well, this moon feels like can probably take it a little bit personally, especially if you're a Scorpio rising, Scorpio, Scorpio. If you're a Scorpio rising, if you're just a Scorpio, how about that? If you're just a Scorpio, I don't know where my thoughts just went. If you're a Scorpio, you may be feeling this intensity a little bit more, and you may have to find yourself wanting to say something, but it's going to hurt. And it could hurt, but it needs to be said, needs to be done. But it's the tactfulness. It's the tactfulness that you put into how you have some of those conversations, so that it doesn't cause more hurt and pain. It allows space for whoever and whatever is accountable to step in. So I feel like for some of you, you may be having some disagreements or fallout somewhere, and just know that there is a force that is working on your behalf to help you to resolve in a orderly manner these things that are taking place possibly in your life. So if that's you, know that you kind of got to get out of the way and let the guardians move that for you, and it shall be done. Yeah, and so that's what I got for you today. I don't have Wi-Fi. I'm running on my phone. And so contemplate what it would feel like to truly be able to honor and live in your truth without interruption. And then imagine what it would be like not to be carrying the responsibility of someone else or someone else's energy around you and around your space, and not taking it personally. And so they're trying to tell me that many of you are really, really questioning yourselves right now. Many of you are struggling with identity, with purpose, with trying to find your way. And they're telling me that, this sounds too simple, but this too shall pass. Yeah, this too shall pass. And he just says that everyone will be okay and everyone will be fine. That's what I just got told. Wow, I keep slipping. So there's a divine intervention here somewhere coming in, and he shall be fine. So whoever this is for, he shall be fine, he shall be well. So I'm going to interpret this to be us here on earth and where we are. We may see a possibility of a storm coming in. It could be an energetic storm, it could be another storm, weather storm, or it can be the stars at night, and it could be us seeing the beautiful lights in the sky. And it's possible that this is what they're talking about, but it's here to help you, here to help you. So there is some people who are really struggling, who are probably going to be listening to this in decisions and choices. Get it away, move your ego out the way, and let your highest expression, your highest truth. Whenever your highest truth is being recognized, is being spoken, or being allowed to come up and out, you get to see authenticity. And so it's inviting in on authenticity. It's inviting in the beautiful light, the beautiful love that is here to help guide us. And even though the moon has some of this energy to it, it also has the possibility for some really great ways that you can really use this to help you or to help others within your life by simply making space for them to come in, making space for them to be with you. I have to tell you something. There's a man's been sitting in a chair right across from me the whole time we've been talking, and he's so distracted me, and now I feel like his energy is in mine. I don't know who he belongs to, but he's like a he's like an old kind of Scottish or Irish, but he has like it looks like plaid, but it's also a tartan on it as well. And he's been sitting here the whole time, and I just have to bring him in. So if you have someone in your life that was like that, and they wore, it looks like matching clothes. So I don't know if this is like scouts, or if this is actually like backpacking, or working away a little bit. Working away a little bit is what it feels like. So there's a little bit of working away. And whoever this person belongs to, they're in my session, and they're staying in my session, and they're not leaving. And so just know that they are with you, and they are watching over you, and they're telling me that they will move the light, whatever that means. They're going to move the light for you, wherever that light is. Could be outdoors, could be inside. So this is something very specific, it sounds like, but I have to give everything that comes up in the reading. I'm also picking up, this is a great time to open up the throat, open up for communication, to be able to speak, and to be able to engage in conversation with the people who don't really fit or suit who you think you are, but there's a lot of commonality that they have to share with you. I think you have to do a little bit of walking around to find that, but it's really, really there. All right. I think that's how I'm going to end this. I don't know how else to do this. And May is not going to get worse, by the way. It's not coming into it's not into a bad time. It's into a time of transition. But I just feel like we're going to feel the sense of satisfaction of something turning out more than right or just right, but actually turn into something fantastic. It's a coming. It's a coming. That's all I keep hearing. It's a coming. So there's something on the way. And I don't know, I feel like part of this message is for someone very personal. I don't know, but it's at the end. So I'll see if I can timestamp it. That's what I have. I hope this resonates. You may have to go and listen to this over again. I don't know where, but I'm keep slipping into channel. And I know the channel's not for this message. So I will put this message where it belongs. And I want to say thank you to each and every one of you in the spirit world who has communicated through to me today. And also to my beautiful client who is here, who's received her beautiful session. We send you so much love, gratitude, and blessings.